Back in 2016, we commemorated the 40th anniversary of the Cubana tragedy in Barbados. It was a very special commemoration. A very big international delegation came to Barbados. It included people like Fernando Gonzalez of Cuba, one of the Cuban Five. It included representatives of the families of the Cubana tragedy of 1976. It included international activists like Danny Glover, the American actor and human rights activist, and many others. And one of the things we decided in 2016 was that we were going to launch a campaign to have the 6th of October declared by the United Nations Day Against Terrorism. So we did that as civil society people. We have not thus far achieved that goal, but when I became a Barbados ambassador, I took to the Barbados government the idea that Barbados should propose to CARICOM that the 6th of October be designated CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism. And that would be a stepping stone towards an eventual United Nations Day, International Day Against Terrorism. And so at the 8th CARICOM Cuba Summit in December last year in Barbados, the Barbados government put forward that resolution. It was accepted. And so this today is the first CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism. And this is important because, you know, prior to today, the CARICOM countries that would hold commemorative events on the 6th of October were Barbados, where the event took place, Guyana, because on that Cubana flight were 11 Guyanese citizens, 7 of whom were medical scholarship students on their way to study medicine in Cuba. So Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago also commemorates it because it was in Trinidad and Tobago that the 2 Venezuelans who had planted the bombs, Freddy Lugo and Ricardo Lozano, they were arrested in Trinidad by the Trinidadian police. So the Trinidadians were very much involved in the whole police investigation. So those were the 3. But by having it now declared CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism, the thinking is that all CARICOM countries, full member states and associate member states, will now commemorate the day as well. And we really want to use the commemoration of the day to press, yes, to speak generally about terrorism, the evils of terrorism and why it needs to be confronted, but also to specifically press for that terroristic blockade against Cuba to be terminated, and to bring into sharp relief the irony and the hypocrisy of Cuba, the country that has suffered so much from terrorism directed from the territory of the United States, and terrorism with which the Central Intelligence Agency of the US government has been complicit. The irony and hypocrisy of this country, of all countries, placing Cuba, the main victim of state-sponsored terrorism, on their list of countries that sponsor terrorism.